Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher with Not Perfect Zen. And this is day 25 of the Inktober Tangles for 2021. And today I am definitely going to use an extra pen, my Micron 01, and I am going to use a graphic one. And you'll see when I get into this pattern why. And graphite pencil and a blending stump. And today's tangle is called Round Square by Karin Guzzetta, CZT. And this one, for weird reasons, stressed me out a little bit, mostly because it's such a simple pattern. I couldn't come up with anything of much variety to show you. It is simply a square with a round orb or whatever you want to call it in the center. And so I'm just very simply going to show you how to do it. This was a piece that I tried yesterday to see how it would do if I added color to it. And I used my watercolor brush pens, but then it smeared a little bit. But I actually like just the plain black and white. But there's a couple of varieties there for you. And let's get started. And this one, like I say, in the step outs, she actually shows to put little dots. Okay, so she suggests, for example, to put 4 dots and then connect those to make your square or rectangle or however you want to do it. But for me, it's easier to just go ahead and make your rectangle. And you can definitely do it with odd shapes. So I have found in the few pictures that I've seen that they pretty much keep the sides parallel. Is that the word I'm looking for? And so I'm just going to make several shapes like this for my first row. Okay, so it doesn't have to be square. And then inside of each of these, we're going to add an orb that goes fairly close to the edges. And so in here, this isn't going to be a perfect circle. And then, like I say, we just keep adding these orbs that come close to filling, but not touching the edges. All right, so there's our first row. And then I'm going to go below this one and kind of R that. And then think I'll make this one come down with an odd shape. There's not going to be triangles, but you can make rectangles at a slant. And as with any of these, just make it the way that you like it. And I didn't make that line up, but it is what it is. And let me show you what I'm talking about. In most of these, I've seen that these lines usually line up a little bit, okay? Mine didn't do that exactly here. Again, with all Zentangle, there are no rules, but I'm trying to do it the way that the person who deconstructed this meant for it to look. And you could use this as a filler. You could use it as a border. Oops. I'm just trying to change the shapes a little bit here. And I'm not necessarily keeping my borders or my edges perfectly straight, but you can kind of fix that when you come back and start filling in the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to put my orbs inside. And again, I'm not calling it a circle because it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Just kind of squeeze it in there, but not right up to the edge. And when you start filling in the corners, if you have to, you can kind of adjust these shapes. Okay, that one's kind of odd. Okay, so if you're using your micron, which is fine, then just go ahead and start filling these in between your orb and the edge. And that's where, like I said, if I wanted to, I could straighten this out a little bit here. And just keep coming around. And this is where I would probably put you to sleep if you had to watch me fill these in for all of these rectangles. But I'm going to show you with my graphic one how much faster, because it has kind of a marker type tip. It's fatter. How much easier I can fill this in, but I also have to be careful so that I don't go too far outside of my borders. Yeah, when I did these other ones that I showed you on my practice page, this graphic one was very helpful. Okay, so again here, I'm just going to kind of straighten that edge out a little bit. And if I wanted to round this corner a little bit more, now would be the time to do it while I'm filling this part in. Okay, so I think this edge is a little bit wobbly. So I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of straighten it out. Okay, that's kind of an odd looking orb there. Okay, so curve that edge a little bit. So there's that row filled in. And if you needed to, like if you wanted to fill in a little bit of fine detail or something where you might have missed, then come back with your 01 if you're using something else to fill this in. I have watercolor markers that I could use that have a fatter tip, or you could use a little bit bigger micron, but whatever works best for you. All right, so I'm going to do my magic. I'm going to fill these in. I'm going to pause the video and fill these in, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the shading. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. You didn't have to watch me fill those in. As I was doing it, I was thinking that, maybe if you did these big enough, these could be filled with other patterns. I don't know. I'm anxious to see what other people do with this pattern and see how it looks. See some spaces that kind of gnat bothering me. Okay, so I have that filled in, and now I'm going to show you just an easy way to add the rounding on this, like I did here. Super easy. So I'm just going to take my graphite pencil, and I'm just going to make, I have it almost flat down like this. So just using the edge, I'm going to make like a little C shape. Oh, trying to get, there we go. And then again with my blending stump almost flat, I'm just going to soften that and kind of pull it around a little bit, but I'm not going to fill it in. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to do that on each of these. Add just a little bit of graphite. You don't need much. I'm just barely pushing. And then take your blending stump and just soften it a little bit. You could possibly do this with pastel chalk pencils to put in a different color. I really like doing this part because it gives it some dimension. It looks like there are little rocks sitting on these pads. It might be really pretty on a watercolored background. Where the whole tile has some color on it. And this will look a little bit better when I'm not so zoomed in. On these longer ones, you can pull that up a little bit more. All right, so let's zoom out a little. Okay, so that's basically it. This is one that would look good as a ribbon and combined with other patterns, or like I said, make it big and put other patterns inside of it. I am going to put my chop here. Changed it up just a tiny bit recently. All right, there you go. Very simply, that is round square by, well, sorry, I'm trying to zoom this in a little bit more. Okay, round square by Karin Guzzetta, CZT. And like I said, I'm anxious to see what other people do with that because I could not figure out much more to do than what you see right here. All right, thank you again for joining me. We only have 6 days to go. It's hard to believe. And if you've enjoyed these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends, and I have loved your comments on my videos. It really makes me happy. It keeps me going, keeps me motivated, I guess is the good way to say it. And I appreciate you guys a lot and appreciate the opportunity to share Zentangle with you. Be safe, be well, and I will see you next time. Bye.